Hey, greetings everyone. This is Tony Hollowitz. Thank you for being here for this tutorial. So I have a tutorial that's based on a question from a client. So a client has an Excel spreadsheet, importing that information into Act. And when they reached out to me, they said the spreadsheet has about 15,000 contacts and only roughly 7,000 came in. So let me address that. So first and foremost, if you have an Excel spreadsheet, there are tools in Excel that you can scan that for duplicates. Now, I'm not going to get into the complexities of that, but I always tell people the cleaner your Excel spreadsheet is, the easier it's going to be to import data. So you need to sort of really look at the Excel data and just understand what's there and make sure everything aligns with the way you want to import it. And when I say align, what I mean by that is this. Let's say there's information in the Excel spreadsheet that lists the contact's favorite flavor of ice cream. Well, when you go to import that information, it makes sense that you already have a field in Act called favorite ice cream. So when you import that information in, you have a place to put it. So sometimes you have to put the cart before the horse a little bit, look at the spreadsheet, clean that up, make sure you're not dragging in all kinds of stuff you don't need. But if you do have stuff in that spreadsheet you want to bring into Act, make sure there's a place to put it inside of Act. And that creates another situation where you have to create a field to hold that data. And that's usually what I recommend. So having stated all of that, let me get into sort of the import process and what I would do when importing. So I'm going to click on import right here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to say from a spreadsheet. I'm going to click browse and I'm going to go to my desktop where I just saved a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet is right here. It's called the Fake Companies for Import video, and I'm going to click open. Now I've got the spreadsheet. I'm going to click next. So at this point, it's mapping the data. It's trying to figure out where to put stuff. So any of the fields that are in that spreadsheet, it will try to map it up. I'm not going to concern myself as much with this for now, but I'm going to click next. And when I bring this in, this is the key point right here, where it says enable duplicate checking. Usually I keep that unchecked. Now again, there's some assumptions made here that you've cleaned up your data in the spreadsheet already. That's one assumption. The other assumption is this. Let's say you don't know what's really in that spreadsheet. My fear when I import information for people is that I might miss a contact that could potentially be a sale or a good client in the future simply because I chose the wrong settings and I never imported it. I never gave it a chance. I'd rather you bring in a little bit too much information into Act and live to fight another day than not bring in information that you'll never be able to sort of work with or know that should have come in or recover because you just don't even know it's there. But having said that, if I enable the duplicate checking, I can choose up to 3 fields, but I can also go up and say none. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm also going to say none. But what can happen is, let's say we match on the company field, and we say this is the main thing we want to match on. So if the ABC company is in there already, don't bring it in again. But where Act gets a little tricky, and this has always been one of those things that I never quite understood, is let's say you're bringing in a bunch of contacts without a company name. Well, Act sort of looks at that company field as being blank, and it can look at it and say, hey, we already have a contact in here with no company. Therefore, this second contact we want to bring in with no company, that's a duplicate because it sees the empty or the blank contact company name as being a duplicate. So that's why some of this stuff can be a little tricky. So what I recommend is this. Uncheck, enable duplicate checking, bring it all in, and live to fight another day. Have the information there. Worst case scenario, you can get rid of it later if you need to, but I'd rather you have it and have to deal with it than not have it and never know what you lost out on. Okay, my friends, so that's my tip for today. Uncheck the duplicate checking. If you have any questions, give me a holler and I'll circle back to you and we can get this done for you. Okay, have a great one. Bye now.